Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Toon Review. We finally have Fan Forum back. It's been a few weeks since we last had a Fan Forum, so it will be nice to get people's people's views on what's going on at the moment. Now, before we start, Billy, you just said to me before the show about these rumours about Steve Bruce to Leeds. Surely not. Surely they are not true.
They're not pretty convincing. I mean, the fact that Leeds want people to go there to replace Yank Lampard, but they're not available till the summer, and Steve Bruce might come in on a stopgap to the end of the season. Well, they're in a pretty precarious position as it is without having that fucking nonsense in there.
Well, listen, I'd be bloody staggered, absolutely staggered. I always thought he was destined for Bristol City. I really did. Yes, Annie. I can see him waiting to come on. That's why I mentioned it. We'll have a look at a few comments before we bring some rabble on. And boy, have we got some rabble in the green room at the minute. Yes, I'm talking about you, Mr. Spoons. I can see you. Aye. Rachel, first one tonight, of course. The usual moderators rules. Be kind in the chat. Most importantly, enjoy the show and conversation. Tom Lynch says, good evening, everyone. Smashing Q&A last night. Should do more of them and get in with get some with mods, Jimmy, Roy, Francisco, and other members. Really enjoy it. Yeah, we'll try and put something together like that for you. No problem at all. Toon Gamer says, I've seen all the teams in the Premier League want Man City kicked out if they're found guilty. For me, if they broke 101 rules, then this is appropriate penalty and should get 2 window transfer embargoes. Yeah, it seems, Billy, that the Premier League teams aren't very happy about this, and it could well be that Man City will eventually suffer quite a high price.
I've got mixed feelings about it. I think I've got feelings about it that I was going to bring up in TTR, but Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that as they're the Johnny before us, of course, they're the Johnny come late. It's this elite club, the top 5 then became the top 6, and now we're pushing that. They're looking for excuses to get one of them out of it, so the other 5 can stay in it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, look,
why did they do it 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever they were investigating it? Why wait till now?
That's what seems strange to me, is why they've waited till now to do it, but. It's a strange one. It's a very, very strange one.
Man City think they've got irrefutable evidence that they're not guilty of it.
Yeah,
and this is going to be a long, drawn-out legal affair, as I said last night.
Yeah. Well, Tom says TalkSport are saying that Man City wouldn't be guaranteed a place in the EFL if they're kicked out of the Premier League, saying it could be expulsion rather than relegation. Now, if that's the case, they would have to, I would imagine, either go and play in Scotland or disappear into the lower leagues for a while, like, like a few teams have had to do, but I don't know. It's a strange one. They could be in a lot of trouble, though, but we'll see. They say they've got enough evidence, then we'll take their word for it at the minute. Cushy says, just take 1 point off for every rule broken and a hefty fine. Nathan, good evening to you. Toon Gamers asking how many players we think we need in the transfer window. Christ almighty, let's not think ahead of that just yet. We've got to, we just got rid of that one. But we'll happily talk about that when the time comes. It's exciting, put it that way. Good evening, Wes. Hope you're well. Cushy says Ashley will have to take over Man City. It's only fair. Listen, I don't want to come down too much on Man City. We've had support from them in the past, to be honest, with the takeover, and I know they've decided not to vote on certain things, which is fair enough by me. But they have give us a lot of support as well, and I don't think we should really forget that. and he's just said in the chat, Billy, when your vape comes out, your screen goes green.
That's because I'm a superhero, Annie. Bogeyman.
Yeah, the bogeyman, more like, not a superhero. Up the A1 says, evening, Paul and Billy. Mod's looking forward to this. It's been a while. Hope everyone is well. Good evening to Will, Peter, Bill. Good evening. And I just want to say a massive shout out to Len Simmons. Now, Len has been in touch with me behind the scenes about equipment for the Toon review and things like that, and he sent a donation to me today. Len, I've emailed, obviously, I've emailed Len back, but thank you so much, Len. Incredible gesture, and thank you so much, buddy. Absolutely incredible. So thank you very much for that. Geordie Howe says, if at the start of the season you said in February you'll be top 4 with a cup final, I'd have said heart over head, happy days. Would be nice to watch the Toon review in 4K. Really? Look, I understand people are wanting like high definition and 4K and everything, but at the end of the day, we're a football talk show. You know, I could imagine if we were actually out there playing football, God forbid, and kicking a ball around a field, but we're sitting in studios, guys. 4K. I mean, really, it's just a conversation. But
I've had emails and messages on Twitter saying I shouldn't really be in colour, let alone 4K.
Yeah, but look, it is the way it is. We broadcast in Toon review definition. End of story. So thank you for everybody that's said that. All of one of you. Yes, Jim, I got your email. Thank you very much. I know I've got it. I haven't read it yet, but I'll read it after the show. Thanks, buddy. Right, we may as well bring the rabble in. Some of them look like they've got John Sinclair connections, judging by how many times they've dropped out and come back on again. So God knows how long they'll actually be with us. We have Kaviani. We have
Good evening.
Jack, Annie, James, some American Raji, Jimmy. Good evening. We have, oh God, oh no, Paul Sales. Wow, you haven't got any toys on the chair, have you, Paul?
No. Sufficiently
dressed tonight?
Yep.
Thank God. We also have Dan, and we've got Ian. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, everybody.
It's a full house.
It is a full house. Now, guys, you heard us talking there about the savior, the great Lord in the sky, the Mr. Religious guy who saves everybody, Steve Bruce. Roy, have you seen any rumours of going to Leeds United?
No, I was in the background, and I heard Billy say that.
So you've done your homework for the show again, then?
No, but I'll tell you what: if Leeds want to go down, go ahead and hire him.
I mean, Annie, I always thought he was destined for you guys down in Bristol City. I really did. And when you called him, all that time ago, you called him the greatest thing since sliced bread, literally. And we were being very silly for talking about Steve Bruce because I believe the word you used was pragmatic, Annie. I did. Yes. Now, times have changed, obviously, and I believe that your opinion has changed. Jimmy, are those squirrels? Yes. Is that squirrels tweeting or is it birds?
Birds.
Jesus Christ. Do you know, it's honestly, it's like a bloody edition of Animal Farm when you're on this show. You know, it's like Guess the Animal in the background in Jimmy's garden.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Well,
just because it's like, just because it's miserable as hell where you're at.
You ain't wrong.
Go on.
It's about this whole 4K shit. I would love it just to see how many gray hairs fucking Alex really has.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. Yeah. I don't know if Alex would be too happy about filming in 4K. It would be.
God.
No. Wrinkles, pigeon
Vain son
feet,
of
the
a
whole
bitch
god.
wouldn't handle it.
Yeah. Roy, that's a rather big watch you've got on your wrist. Would that happen to be a certain fruity phone?
No, it's a I watch Ultra, whatever. It's got the Toon badge on it.
Right, so it's an Apple Watch, yeah?
It's Apple Watch.
Right, so when I said it's a fruity watch, I was trying not to say the brand, but obviously you just fucking done it. Thank you very much for that. Apple, I want some commission for that. Thank you. Jack, how are you doing?
Yeah. Not doing too bad.
Good. What do you think of these rumours for Stevie Bruce?
Loving it.
Have you seen many? Because Billy's seen a few.
Yeah, I've seen a few as well.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. A grin came on my face.
Wow.
and just like Roy says, if Leeds want to go down, it's completely up to them. But I'm advising you, Leeds, please do, because I want to see Steve Bruce destroy another club.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, look, Leeds could go back to the Championship. There's a real possibility of that happening, and I think Ian, I can't understand for the life of me why they would want him.
No, but I think I actually started that rumour off because the second that I seen that Jesse had been sacked, and I put straight on Steve Bruce for the job.
Yeah, you did. But I have seen. I mean, the rumor that I saw this afternoon was from a legitimate media source. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I've seen a few. I think he's always going to get linked with everything, and either any job. I'd very much doubt they'd hire him, but it'd be funny if they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Barbara, I can see you in the waiting room. Don't worry, I can't get you on yet because we're full. So just be patient. I know you're Irish and you've got no patience, but try to be, please. Oh, she doesn't look happy at that comment. Oh. Who are you fucking talking to? Barbara, wave if you're happy. Hey. Right. Anyway. Right. Let's. I mean, let's start with you, Mr. Sales. Obviously, you were at the West Ham game at the weekend. I saw you. Well, on somebody else's videos who sticks cameras in your faces when you don't want them to. But obviously, you were there. What did you think of the performance?
I thought it was a bit flat.
Yeah.
Now and again, they would play some decent moves. Then all of a sudden, they'll just lose balls. It's silly. It's not the kind of thing that we would do. So,
were you surprised, especially in the first half, with the passing? Because it was a bit all over the shop.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what was going on there. And Alex is not going to like this. Maxi performed hopeless.
Well, I mean, I did want to get your guys' views on Maxi, to be honest. James, good evening to you. Is this your first time on the forum, or was it second?
Second time.
I thought it was. What did you think of it? Because there was listen, it wasn't just Maxi that didn't turn up. You know, the passing from the back four wasn't great in the first half, etc. But what did you think of the whole game?
Well, I thought that it was exactly the performance what we all expected when we knew Bruno was going to be out, to be honest.
All right, I need just 2 seconds, James. I've just had a £5 super chat from Judy Hops, who we haven't heard of on the channel for quite some time. So good evening, Judy. I don't know whether she's been sort of secretly in the channel as somebody else, but she sent in a £5 super chat, and she says, Billy is breathing great green smoke because he buys all his vapes duty-free from Chernobyl. And then Steve Bruce to Leeds. He must give a whopper job interview. Yeah, thank you very much, Judy, and it's nice to see you back in the chat.
That's the Disney character name.
You what?
That's the Disney character name from Zootopia.
Who is?
Judy Hobbs. You just even got the profile picture.
Well, Jack, how on earth in God's planet would I know that?
You might do. You never know.
Zootopia. I've heard of it, actually. But there you go. Interesting. Anyway, carry on, James.
Yeah, like I was saying, it was exactly the performance what I was expecting, because you know, we let John Joe Shelby go, you know, who was the replacement really for Bruno, that sort of player, and we didn't get anyone to replace, you know, any cover. So it is what it is. We reap what we sow, isn't it? You know, so
yeah.
But at the end of the day, this year now we're that far ahead from where the board thought we were going to be. It doesn't matter what we do now this year, really. You know, at the end of the day, I think the way that the board's gone on, and the way that, you know, for financial fair play, they've been really careful, which I think is the good thing. But I just think now, you know, in the long-term project, what they said at the start, we're already a year or 2 years ahead from where they, you know, they expected us to be a steady mid-table team this year. That's what they expected, really, I think. You know what I mean? So whatever we're doing, I'm over the moon with. But I don't agree with how we've done the last transfer thing. I think that we could have got someone in. If we were going to let John Joe go, we should have got just someone in, just to have someone in the middle. Anyone, you know, just anyone. But we don't have any cover whatsoever. And what's happening now this next 3 games, we've just got to sit back and just support the lads, because Eddie doesn't have a choice. We've only got 13, 14 players that we can play with. So it is what it is, isn't it? We've just got to like it and lump it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that is, you know, one of the cases that it's. I mean, Jimmy, have we made a mistake in the transfer window, do you think?
I think he's 100% correct. We needed cover at that position, but you know, and with ASM, I think his poor play was only magnified by the fact that Anthony Gordon came on and looked like he'd been with the team for years.
Yeah, he did.
And look, for some reason, ASM is struggling to grasp this Howe system, and Gordon seems to have figured it out within a couple of days of training.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, Billy, I mean, I know we as hosts tend to stay a little bit quiet on the SM because we don't want to rile the beast. That is, of course, Mr. Stato. But I think even he admitted that he didn't play well on Saturday. But he wasn't the only one, was he? I mean, we were doing the commentary on the game, and we couldn't believe some of the passing in that first half.
Yeah, it was the worst 45 minutes of the season. The first 45 minutes, despite having a great start. I mean, from 5 minutes onwards, we were awful till half time, and maybe 10 minutes afterwards. A lot of that was down to the fact that back four were giving the ball away willy-nilly. Nobody seemed to have any decent control of the ball. We miss Bruno because he's always an outlet ball for the centre halves or the full-backs. Yeah. Longstaff, as well as he did, it doesn't offer that same protection. And from there, we were behind the 8 ball, and West Ham took advantage of it. They've obviously done the homework. They stopped the wingers really easily, to be fair. And as the game went on, actually, the wingers did start coming on the game. Gordon came on, stretched it a bit, gave Miggy more time on the other side. Yeah, and then we started taking advantage of it. Then Eddie Howe then decided to make changes, which was just ridiculous in my opinion at the time he made them. We were well on top. Bizarre. We were looking like we were going to maybe go ahead and win the game. We created chances, we created openings. Yeah, and he brought Murphy on for Miggy, and I thought, nah, that's mad. But
strange what it was. It was very strange.
Performance by all, I thought, not just the players. I thought the manager could have done better with his substitutions. In the in-game management weren't great.
There's a pterodactyl now flying over Jimmy's garden by the sound of things. My God, it's a chicken hawk. What the hell is a chicken hawk?
It's a chicken that can fly.
It's a huge ass bird.
It sounds it.
It's larger than an eagle, and it basically, if you have a chicken in your yard like our neighbors do, that's what they tend to go after.
Well, so the chicken wouldn't last very long. Julie Jason, I've just seen it on Twitter now that he starts next season. Give our. Is somebody winding me up here? Somebody's winding me up. Like, I'm not having it. Shamrock says, Paul, you sounded like Frank Carson there. That's a cracker. Good evening to Martin. Hope you're well. Apparently, there's a Greg's near Elland Road, says Julie. He'd be there. Sign them up straight away. Samantha says, if Bruce goes to Leeds, their fans will be singing, open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. I'm surprised we didn't actually come up with that song, but you are right. I like coffee. Good evening. Naming everybody in the chat. Toon Gamer says a couple of things. Could the team performances slack? Because, Jimmy, seriously, man. I mean, now you've got an emergency vehicle chasing some kind of monster who is trying to attack chickens.
Typical day in Georgia.
Jimmy's house.
Yeah, only in America, ladies and gentlemen. Only in America.
Well, I mean, it's what you get when it's 21 degrees out.
Ah, kiss me ass.
You've been speeding again, Jimmy.
Yeah. If Big Joe gets yellows in the next 2 games, he will miss the final, apparently. Yes, he will. He's got to be careful. Now, would we leave him out?
If we play him, he gets them.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
If we play him, he gets them.
Rachel says that one of her best mates is a Leeds fan. He'll hyperventilate if Bruce goes to Leeds. I don't think he'd be the only one. Geordie Howe says, Alain Saint Marmite. Love him or hate him. Where are you standing on Maxi at the minute, Roy?
Well, it's so frustrating, isn't he? He saved us in the last few seasons. Best player by a mile. For some reason, it's not working out for him here. There was a moment in the game where he had the ball next to our box. He passed it, and 3 or 4 players were running, and he was still behind. And by the time that we crossed the ball, we got to their keeper, he wasn't even a halfway line yet. And I don't know. I think he's lazy, or I'm not sure if he wants to be here or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it did make him look much worse when Gordon came on, and you think, wow, especially that pass to Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I still think maybe if he plays on the right instead of Miggy, he might get a bit of more service on that side, especially with Trippier behind him.
Teaming up with Trippier. That would be interesting to see. Roadblock, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. He says, West Brom are really struggling since Steve Bruce left. Yeah, that's a sarcastic comment if I've ever heard one. But West Brom could lose their manager, of course. So he's linked with Leeds United as well. So we're not sure how it's going to go. But if anybody ever employs that man again, it'll be incredible.
It'll be Coburn for me. It'll be Coburn who takes the job.
Is that him who's West Brom manager now?
Yeah. Right. I don't think the rumours are true. I think they're just nonsense. To be honest, I don't think it's true.
Interesting. Simon says, are we surprised that in both windows we didn't even use the loan market? Jack, what do you reckon about that?
Well, we were considering a loan for Gallagher, which I thought would have been a decent deal. But yeah, we didn't really invest much in the. We didn't really invest much in
that wasn't me.
We didn't really invest much in the loan market, but I'm not too fussed about it. I mean, I think our January transfer window could have been way worse. Could have not signed anyone. It was looking that way, but I was positive we could bring someone in. But I would have liked to invest more in the loan market because there's a lot of good players there. But the January transfer window is a hard window because you're in the middle of a season. Players are tied between each clubs. It's a hard market to go through. But I think I would have liked to invest a little bit more in the loan market for sure.
Paul, I mean, would you have expected maybe? After the sending off of Bruno in the cup, we were expecting. I know Billy and Alex were back doing the show for deadline day, and we possibly expected that when Bruno was sent off, that maybe that would have possibly pushed them into bringing a loan deal in and made them go even harder at it. I know there was only a couple of hours, but it was a loan. If they'd already negotiated, were you disappointed?
Yeah, a bit disappointed, but it is what it is. Know what we can do about it. At the end of the day, it's their money. They know what they're doing. It's a learning curve. Things will get better.
Well, I hope so. I think they will get better in the summer. I mean, Dan, what do you reckon? Do you think we missed out?
Yeah, definitely. But saying that, they could have put all their eggs in the basket for summer transfer window. Because if they think that, well, I mean, we all know we're ahead of schedule, but if they see we're ahead of schedule, they might think, right, keep going as we are, go big in summer, maybe 2 or 3 big in. You never know.
Yep. Yeah, good point. Good point.
That's the big positive, I think, because I put a comment in a couple of shows ago that I went and seen me accountant about it all because I was absolutely fizzing transfer day. And what it looks like to me now is that the club are preparing, getting rid of, because we've got a lot of contracts that's going to end this year as well, and there's going to be quite a few bits of deadwood leaving the club. We're rid of some wages with John Joe on high wages and Chris Wood, and I think they're going to build up for a summer to then set out a stall for us, and for the next step. That's what I think they're going to do.
Yeah. Well, don't forget as well that if we do make the Champions League as well, if we do finish top 4, that is going to create a lot more when it comes to FFP side of things and spending a bit more money because our income will be a lot bigger.
Also, Paul,
go on.
Is there isn't our sponsorship up in the summer?
Yes, we are going to have a new sponsor who are believed to be, Saudi Airways. I think will have it. I don't think they've made much of a secret that could be the case, to be honest.
Qatar Airways getting it.
Yeah. Listen, it's going to be an Airways, isn't it? That's my view. I mean, Qatar Airways they sponsor somebody else at the minute, don't they? Are they? No, I know Etihad and Manchester City, but I'm sure Qatar. Do they not sponsor PSG?
Yes.
No.
Are you sure? I think they do.
I think they. I've seen them on a shirt.
No, it's not on the front of the shirt.
Is it
Roma?
not?
It's Roma. It's Roma.
No, yeah, they do. Qatar Airways, PSG.
Yeah, it does, Roy. They do. I'm looking at it now. Qatar Airways on the front of the shirt.
Oh, that's really the new sponsor. It's the new sponsor this year.
Right. Must be this year.
Hang on, guys. We need to. This guy has had 2 comments to make, and twice he's got it absolutely botch jobbed. Our Middle Eastern correspondent here, who, by the way, is dressed like he's about to go into an operating theatre.
It's a Zeep t-shirt, man.
Well, not from the chin downwards. Okay. It's not. It looks like you're in scrubs, mate. But I'll let you off. It's all right. I know it's late over there. Chinglish is asking, why is ASM being singled out? Willock was far worse and gets away with it every week. He's not good enough to start. Now, Ian,
far worse.
Well, listen, I actually do agree a little bit with Chinglish there.
What?
Yes. Willock, look, Billy mentioned it the other day. He does flatter to deceive sometimes. He'll do something great and then he disappears out the game. And he's done that on the last quite a few occasions. But on Saturday, he actually improved and he got taken off. But he did go out of the game again. And I think that's why one of the reasons Eddie Howe brought him off, that was already planned because he wasn't playing very well, Ian.
Yeah, I'm getting really pissed off actually, because I've really liked Willock when he's playing well, and I don't think it's a lack of effort. He's got no consistency whatsoever. With the ASM thing, at first when the game kicked off, the first thing that ASM did was that brilliant tackle. If you remember it right at the start of the game, he made a really good sliding tackle and slid around and tackled, got the ball, and I thought he's fucking learning here. He's got it now. He knows what he has to do. Yeah. But from then on, I know he made 3 tackles throughout the game. From I think what Alex pointed out, but from then on, for me, he this is ASM, and then I'll go on to Willock. ASM, it looked like he was trying, but he just run out of ideas, and I don't think it helps having Dan Burn behind him because there's no overlap. I think Dan Burn only overlapped twice in the whole match or something. So he ended up with 2 players on him and a player inside. So even if he cut inside, he ended up with 3. If he went down the outside, he can't get past them. So I did feel like he didn't get much help. But saying that, he was shit as well, and he was fannying around all the time, before he got took off. I personally, I said at the time, I would have took him off, if not at half time, even sooner than he was. It just looked like he didn't have any ideas. But Willock, I just thought, apart from the goal, I thought Willock was absolutely shite. Watching it live, I know you see a different perspective to on the telly, and we've talked about this because I always watch. If I go to the match, I'll watch it on the replays after, on the full game, on my method of watching it, if you get what I mean. And even on both ways I watched it, I was really, really unimpressed with Willock. Like, I've got to admit, I didn't. He's a good player and he's brilliant on his day and he's great. And he looks lazy because of his long sort of language stride that he has. But he's motoring when he gets going. But he's just, for me, he's one of them players. I think he needs a couple more seasons before he's a bit more maturity.
You know what really peeved me off about Willock against West Ham was he had 2 50-50 tackles, and Billy, you'll remember these because we made a point of it, and he bottled out of them. I don't like seeing that. Just pulling out the tackles, get stuck in, do something.
He completely bottles a lot of the time in aerial duels, tackles. I tell you what I noticed as well, Paul. What I thought on the day watching it was, I felt like a couple of players were holding back. Now, I don't know whether that's a subconscious thing because obviously the final's coming up and people don't want to get injured. But after the first 5-10 minutes where we went out like the clappers and we looked like bloody Brazil, and then after that, it just like they admittedly got the measure of us a little bit, but we were shit. And it looked to me like people weren't going in as much. Not the usual suspects who always, the likes of Dan Byrne will always go in full pelt, Trips will as well, but I felt like the team wasn't as aggressive as it usually is.
It's because we've lost the kingpin.
I know what you're saying.
The two young lads beside Bruno have to give 100% because Bruno gives 100%. And he'll be on them. Like, he's on them. He runs that midfield, doesn't he? He runs our team, really, Bruno. And
Bruno makes a big difference, obviously, because like Paul said before, he's the outlet. The likes of Botman were looking around. I could see at times they had no option. And the options they did have were not moving, they were static, so there was somebody on them constantly. But I still think that without Bruno, we should have had enough to win that game, definitely. And it seemed, like one thing I'll say is, if this is us not playing great and a bad spell, we're still drawing games, we're still getting points. And like at the start of the season when we were drawing too many games, everyone's arses were twitching.
Yeah.
Then once it clicked in, we had that massive run of great results where we were scoring shitloads of goals. I do think that'll come again, and hopefully it comes just before we play Man United at Wembley.
Do you not think though that we got a lot more joy out of Willock when he played on the right side of midfield, when Joe Linton was on the left in midfield, Bruno in the middle, Willock on the right, ASM left.
Who have we got in the middle? James, who's in the middle? Who's in the middle?
No, when I'm saying with Willock about his performances.
Yeah, but who's in the middle?
We've got Bruno in the middle.
He knows exactly what we need.
I got it, Paul.
Christ, how did it take you there, James? Jesus H. Christ.
I know, but I was in the zone for what I had to say. No, but when Willock used to play on the right hand side, he looked a lot better, I thought. But now that he's been moved into like this thing with Joe Linton, on this left-hand side with Dan Byrne, it's just not quite clicking. And I just think he's just not mature enough to do it. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just what I thought.
I think Paul swiped too hard
again. I think it did work though, and then it's not working as well now. And I think I don't want to.
This bloody mouse. Christ. I daresn't swipe it. Honestly, it's just like it kicks me out the bloody studio all the time, man. Jesus, bloody wept. Anyway, Alex is in the chat, so be careful what you say about ASM, guys. Right, Francisco joins us. How are you doing?
How you doing, boys? Doing great over here.
Yeah, we're good, man. We're good. What did you think of the West Ham game then? Yes, we could.
Sorry, dude. I think everybody, yeah. No, it was a poor performance all around. yes, we single out Maxi because we were expecting more from him. We've been expecting him to start for a while now. And given what he was kind of showing in some of the subs that he was in, we expected
whose dogs are going ballistic now? Whose are them dogs?
Honestly, I have a dog porn next door.
Oh no! Yeah, you have literally a dog porn site outside your house, Francisco. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Paul, have you still got some people waiting to get on?
Yes, I have.
Right. Well, I've had my turn. So.
All right, James. All right, buddy. Thanks. Now. Good night. Well, I think we have a newbie to the show, Corby.
Hi, guys.
Not too bad. How are you?
Hey, buddy.
Upper fucking mags.
What?
Upper fucking mags.
Where are you calling from?
Northern Ireland.
Oh God, another Irishman. How do we get so many bloody Irishmen on here? Seriously. What did you think of the game of the weekend?
Absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it?
Eddie Hearney's out.
What?
Yep.
I think Trollby might be on the yeah, exactly.
He's gone.
Yeah, get rid of him. Trollby.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, a Manchester United supporter.
Well, yes. In Northern Ireland, he will be, won't he? So there you go.
Eddie Howe out.
Yes, Eddie Howe out. Oh God. Fez, good evening. Finally.
You all right?
Obviously, the heating's not on in your house. Calling from an igloo.
Nah, I'm in Scotland. It's always cold, man.
You're in Scotland?
Yeah, I live in Scotland.
Oh, God. I'm sorry to hear that. Ian Fleming, thank you for your £5 super chat. Clearly, Francisco's on a delay there because I said that 3 years ago. Ian Flemings, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, "What do you guys think about Stan Collymore saying Isak and Wilson are not good enough and should be replaced next season?"
He's a fucking knob.
Right,
bullshit, to be
Dogger.
Well, for some strange reason, he started following me on Twitter. I really don't know why. I don't know whether it might be worth trying to get Stan on to try and explain
himself.
Because I don't. Well, okay. I mean,
he's a wife-beating dogger, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Well,
correct.
Let's talk about football, guys. We don't get into politics on this channel. I don't like upsetting. Yes, Annie, you seem to be pushing that quite hard. I mean, is that just because you're frightened he's going to end up at City?
Signed a new contract, so Steve Bruce to Leeds might happen.
It's not going to happen, Annie. I'm sorry, but it just isn't going to happen.
Has just signed a new contract at West Brom.
If Leeds have any brains, they would not sign Steve Bruce.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, but
signed a new contract. There we go.
So he's not going anywhere then.
Well, you know.
Well, actually, I did hear a link with Steven Gerrard earlier today as well, going to Leeds. So he's available, of course, as is Frank Lampard. So we may well see one of them turn up. Who knows? Who knows?
It'll be attractive to Bruce there anyway, because there's loads of good kebab shops down there.
Well, there is. There is. Leeds is well known for its dead pigs and lambs and stuff. So anyway, let's talk about the Carabao Cup final, guys. Is there anybody with us tonight who is going?
I'm going here, Gozo.
Fez, was that a yes, I'm going, or was that just a pop star thing to say, piss off, I'm not going?
No, that was a double fingers that you're both going.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your support, Fez. It means a lot. Barbara. Oh, God, she can't get on yet. Anyway, listen. There's been a clamour for tickets, right? We know that. And a lot of people are scared that they're not going to get one. The way it's going, I'm going to have to walk because LNER have decided that they're advertising some extra trains now, if you look on the website. But you can't buy tickets for these trains yet, and I don't know how long they're going to leave it before you can actually buy tickets. It's a bit ridiculous, to be honest. Ian, how are you getting there? Because I mean, we did look at prices, didn't we, for buses, and it was just a bit outrageous.
Yeah, well, the way I'm getting there is a lot more expensive than what we originally looked at.
Are you flying to Rome first, then to London?
No, someone I know that I'm going.
Hey, you're laughing. You're laughing. I was seriously considering it the other day.
Someone I know's got a minibus going down, so they're having to pay the lad who they know for a hotel to drive down. It's costing quite a lot of money for him to ask himself to get down because he's not into football, but he's having a couple of nights in London for free. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just jumping in with them. It's the people I've got the table with. So
all right, so you're staying in London, are you?
Yeah. I think we're staying till Monday. So we go down Saturday morning. I think we're catching a rugby game, Harlequins or something, I think, on the Saturday, and then football on the Sunday, coming back Monday morning, I guess.
Right. So well, thanks for forgetting about me, mate. It's a pleasure knowing you.
There might be room if there's a few of you, like just a couple of you.
No, it's just me and Phoebe, to be honest. At the minute, but listen, there's still a few weeks left. There's still. I just wish LNAR would actually sell the tickets now, because they've obviously put the trains on the timetable because they realise that I think the Evening Chronicle spoke to LNAR, and they said that they are putting extra trains on because they know it's the cup final. And the trains are advertised there on the website, but there's just no way of purchasing tickets yet. They haven't released the tickets. So they need to, crack on with that, please. And then everyone can get booked, because there's still a few people I've spoken to said, and you laughed when I said fly out to Rome and back to London, but it was cheaper than getting a bloody train. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It is literally ridiculous.
Yeah,
easy for me.
Constantly on there, LNER, constantly.
Annie, what do you mean easy for you? You're not in the bloody final.
Well.
The team you support has as much chance of getting to the final as I do of meeting Pamela Anderson. It's not going to happen, mate.
Well, if Man City are docked of all their titles, we have to play in the final of the Carabao Cup in 2017-18. So you never know.
Yeah, they're saying that if they do lose all the titles, then they're just going to be void competitions. So you
I don't think that's very fair. I think they should play this final.
Well, you wouldn't know.
It's
not.
Well, my mum said to me earlier on today that she'd read something that Sunderland were going to be awarded the 2014 League Cup because if Man City get, and I just laughed at her. So it ain't going to happen. They'll just void the competitions. It will go down in history books as a void. Because Man City are cheating morphos, but we'll wait and see what happens with it. But is anybody else planning on applying for tickets?
Probably not. That's too far for me to go, to be fair. I'm all the way up in Scotland, so it's like 9 hours.
Oh, Fez, man, you're practically next door to me. Christ, you're only in Scotland, not the bloody end of the world.
It's 3 hours from mine to Newcastle.
Well, just take the 6 hours. It's only 3 hours more to London.
Oh, fuck. Well, plane. I'd rather just watch it at the pub. Come to Newcastle and watch it with the fans.
Well, that's fair enough. I think that's what a lot of people are actually going to be doing.
Yeah. Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
How much
Have they confirmed that already?
Service?
You what, Jimmy?
Newcastle. How much is train service from Newcastle?
Well, the prices have been quoted for returns. Looking at is around £130 return for me and Phoebe.
Real services in Europe, I think.
But I haven't well, that's because I've got a disabled rail card, so I get a percentage off the ticket. So, but some of the prices are ridiculous. I mean, you could literally fly to a European country for cheaper than you can get a train to London.
And I only paid £250 to get one of the last tickets of the trains that were originally put on.
Yeah,
and now they're putting new trains on, and I think the price will be cheaper, so they're well pissed off.
Yeah, it's shocking. It is shocking.
It is. Because I can fly United out of Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
It's round trip to Heathrow for $700.
You're kidding.
That's cheap.
That's madness. That
I looked at flights to New York, and they were double that from here.
Well, we've got the largest airport and still the most traveled airport from passenger standpoint in the world. So there are more flights that go out of Atlanta than out of New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
Plus New York's just a complete clusterfuck with the unions and everything else.
Yeah. We've lost Dan there. I don't know what's happened with Dan. Okay. Let's bring Tony on. Tony.
Hi, Paul. All right. Hi,
yeah,
guys,
not bad.
Right? Hey, mate.
How are you doing?
Hi, all right. Yeah, not too bad, Paul. Not too bad, mate. How are you doing?
Well, I'm all right. We're just talking about getting to London for the cup final, and it's not very easy, shall we say? Look, if I have to drive, I'll drive. That's it's what I've thought about doing is if worse comes to worse and I have to drive, then what I'll do is I'll drive to, let's just say, an hour outside of London or something on the Saturday. Me and Phoebe will just stay in a travel lodge or something, and then maybe just jump on one of the little train services into London on the day itself. That might be an easy way of doing it. But they're not making it easy. I mean, you look at Man United. Obviously, it's different for them because they're at home. They don't have to travel anywhere to go to the game. It is what it is. But it's the way. It's just the way that happens with Manchester United. But I mean, obviously, Ian, you're going. You've looked at, we've looked at buses, we've looked at mini buses, and the prices. I mean, we just can't afford that kind of thing, can we? I mean, it's surely, I mean, it's nothing to do with the club, because I did have some people say, the club should maybe fund the fans to go down there or help out because they've got loads of money. That's not going to work. That's not going to happen.
I think the problem that you've got as well is because you're going down with Phoebe. Obviously, like I could probably get yours on this coach because I'm not 100%, but I know there was a couple of spaces going on the coach. But the problem is would you want to take your daughter on a coach full of lads who are generally probably going to be on the piss? Is that would you want to do that? If you do, then you can come with us. I'm pretty sure there was a couple of places available. I only sorted mine out today because I was all.
Yeah, you're right, Ian. The problem is I know you too well, and I know that is probably a minibus that Phoebe is not going to be wanting to be on.
That's what I mean.
That sort of mini.
I'm on zero, me. I don't drink.
Yeah, I know that. I know you don't, but
the rest of them.
Well, I would hazard a guess that they might try and persuade you to fall off the wagon a little bit on the way to Wembley, mate. But I don't think Phoebe would quite enjoy the wonderful sights of grown men putting the butt cheeks against the windows and things like that as the past lorry drivers and things like that. I don't think it's going to be quite her environment, if I'm honest, Ian.
I think you might be right, mate. I think we'll leave that one there.
Look, there's options. I mean, look, it's going to be a great day. I mean, Jack, are you planning on doing a watch along? Are you planning on going somewhere to watch the game, or?
I don't quite know yet. But I'm buzzing, but I can't go, unfortunately. But that still doesn't mean I'm not gonna enjoy the match or enjoy the experience, because it's once in a lifetime experience, really. Well, kind of, but I'm expecting us to have more of these moments in the future. But I mean, last time we won a trophy in 1955, a long time ago, so it's an historic moment. So I think no matter if I'm going or doing a watch along or whatever I'm doing, I'm going to enjoy the moment and see Kieran Trippier lift up that Carabao Cup trophy.
Oh, there's confidence for you guys. There's confidence. Tony, I mean, look, we may as well talk about this. I mentioned this in our show last night with me and Billy. We're very aware of what's going on with ticket scams at the minute with regards to second-hand websites selling them for upwards of $1,000 to $2,000. We've seen Newcastle fans trying to sizzle tickets out of other Newcastle fans for ridiculous amounts of money, and it's really wrong. And I know you feel very strongly about it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's disgusting when you're trying to exploit, football fans wanting to go and watch that team play. It's not just football as well. It's any sports. It happens in boxing, motor racing, happens in concerts, Paul, as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just absolutely disgusting that people go out their way to try and make extra money. And there's no need for it, really. If you can't go, sell it for face value, but don't try and rip people off by selling it over the top. It's just not on, is it? I mean, a good friend of mine was scammed a couple of months ago. He sent the money through PayPal for his ticket, and the guy never sent the ticket out when he messaged him, didn't bother answering his messages. And this is why I say, if you're going to buy a ticket on Facebook off somebody, then if they're local to you, say, right, can I meet you? I'll give you the cash, you hand me the ticket. That's the easiest way to do it. If they don't meet you, then you know it's a scam. But don't part with your hard-earned cash over the internet to somebody without you knowing them at the end of the day, or unless like I say they're local to you and you can get them to meet up with you. That's the best way to do it.
Look, it's some tickets for the West Ham game.
Did you?
Yeah, I got scammed. I think it was like 70 quid, something like that. Paid him and then never got it back. But other people were doing it as well. And then my dad texted him, "I'll find you."
Well, absolutely. But listen, I've seen YouTube channels doing it as well. And actually admitting that they're selling tickets for 3, 4, 5 times the amount. I mean, look, I'm pleased in a way that, Wembley themselves are onto this. Obviously, they must deal with that all the time. With big events and tickets going awry, Billy. They must deal with it all the time, but at least they're on top of this very, very quickly.
Well, it's prevalent, isn't it? We've seen players being banned from receiving tickets for major events at Wembley, cup finals, such like. Yeah. And if they're checking upon players, they're going to be checking upon Joe Soap in the street who's doing it. These Club Wembley tickets are expensive, but someone thought it was a license to print money, obviously, by sharing the cost and getting a free ticket for whoever was selling it. But it's bang out of order, that taking advantage of fellow fans. Who were there for the same reason, really, of hoping to see us win the cup on 26th of February. It's bang out of order. I really do despise it. And luckily the man was caught, and hopefully he's lost his ticket.
Well, it's going on all across. I mean, Dan, have you ever thought about, obviously, with it being Newcastle, and the sort of desperation of the fans to get to a cup final and go there and savour the moment. Have you, thought about trying to go to a second-hand ticket supplier and getting tickets, or is it just a big no from you?
No, it's a straight-up no. You just can't trust it unless you go through like a select site. I mean, I've sold tickets before that I've had spare for concerts, but I've gone through the legitimate sites and sold them for pretty much the same amount of money. But you can never trust them, and it's a silly amount of money to hand over. I mean, every Newcastle fan wants to get to Wembley, don't they? Yeah. I think I'm in category 8 for tickets. It's like I've managed to get general sale tickets to some Carabao Cup games this season, but I don't stand a cat in hell's chance of getting one. But I think that it's fair enough. I'll just watch it wherever, whether that's travelling up to Newcastle or on the TV. But
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Newcastle's going to be bouncing on the 26th of February.
Insane in Newcastle.
It is. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So if you can't get tickets for Wembley, find somewhere Newcastle to go, because by Christ, you're going to get a hell of an atmosphere, aren't you, wherever you go in Newcastle. And I know there's fans going down to London as well.
Going on, isn't there?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So, even if, I know loads of people who don't have tickets but are going down to London just for the atmosphere. And they're watching in a pub in London, or, London have lots of sports bars down there. And I think, like Ian's just said, I think London themselves will have some fan zone parks up like they do for every final. But there will be some in Newcastle as well. But I mean, Roy scamming fans is just, it's just wrong.
It is. I mean, I told you last time, didn't I? I looked online and I found some for £1,700.
Yeah.
I thought I'm That's plus I'm gonna have to fly. My hotel room's still booked, so I'm still keeping my fingers crossed just in case I get a normal price ticket.
Yeah,
I'll still come. If I can't get one, we'll just meet with the fans here and just do it here.
Yeah.
My plan was if I do come, and hopefully we do win, then I'm going to Newcastle as well. Stay there for a couple of nights.
There's no hopefully about it, man. We're winning that trophy. We're taking
listen,
I'll probably end up getting sacked, but it's worth it.
I don't think anybody will be if we win the cup. I don't think anybody will be at work on Monday. I pretty much guarantee that they'll still be out partying till God knows when. I mean, Annie, it's Exeter City. By the way, need a big shout out because they've actually dedicated. They've actually told Newcastle United that their fans can have their allocation, which I think is a lovely thing to do. So big hats off to Exeter City. Can you not have a word with Bristol City, Annie, to help a few Newcastle fans out?
In terms of what allocation? We don't have.
Well, you do. All the EFL clubs get an allocation of tickets for the Carabao Cup final. Because you play in the EFL, Annie. I don't know whether you've forgotten that, but you actually play in the EFL.
No. I didn't know that existed, to be honest. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll see into it.
Well, obviously, just in case. But if you do, give them my email address, and I'll sort some of the lads out. You know what I mean?
One here.
There's one in Qatar, there's one in Coventry there. I'm sure there's one in Scotland up there. Who's always cold. Poor Jack sitting there thinking,
I've got my scarf here as well. It's fucking freezing.
Oh my God!
Listen, you don't want me going to Wembley. I'm bloody jinxed where Newcastle at Wembley are concerned. I've seen us play there 5 times, and I've never seen us score goals. So no one got I'm going.
You've never seen us score?
Nope.
Christ, stay the hell away.
But this is a new Newcastle and a new Wembley.
It is.
Me on might be looking down saying, you ain't going nowhere. You stay at home.
Yeah, you're doing the watch along. Billy's got a really good show planned, by the way. Go on.
I've seen us play at Wembley once. We lost. That wasn't great.
What competition was that, Annie?
Probably a playoff.
Playoff final, unfortunately. Don't want to talk about it too much.
Okay.
Dean Windass.
Against Hull City. Yes. How can we forget that? What a cracking goal that was, by the way, Annie, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, Paul.
It was an absolute thunderbolt. Tony, what are you doing for cup final day?
I'm probably staying at home, to be fair. Watching the game on TV. I was toying with the idea whether to go down to London to watch it or not, but then I was kind of thinking everywhere will probably be absolutely ram-packed. But I'll probably stay home, watch it on TV with a few beers, obviously, as well. And
of course, yeah,
definitely. And obviously, I'll probably do a show before the game and then a show after the game. When hopefully we'll see Trippier lifting that cup. But also, it'll not just be Trippier lifting that cup, it'll be Lascelles one because he's club captain, so he'll have to share the responsibility of lifting it with him.
If he puts his hand in that cup, I swear to God.
Yeah, look, it will happen. You know, it will happen. If we win, it's going to be the two of them lifting it. It will be.
Is it true that if United win, Martin Dubravka?
Yes, we're not talking about that though, because excuse me, Annie, you're on a Newcastle United. Yes, you're on a Newcastle United forum. Don't you dare call them United on this show. I'm horrified, Annie.
And if you win, Martin Dubravka gets a runners-up medal.
No, he doesn't.
It's ridiculous.
You don't get any medal.
No, Dubravka won't get it. He's cup tied for us, so he can't get anything for us. So, Jimmy, what you...
Cup, Annie, who you got next round of the cup? You got City, haven't you?
Man City.
City.
3-0 win, easy.
Bristol City versus City.
Yeah.
Bristol City versus City, See?
City.
Probably be the same league next
season. City, I don't mind.
Well... I don't think he clicked on what you were trying to do there, Billy. Poor little Jimmy, what you do for cup final day? You'll be getting the Ford Ranger out and putting the Barbie on the back, going somewhere special.
No, we got a couple friends coming over.
Yeah,
gonna head up to the butcher's, get
Get a hog, get a big hog, you know, some.
Nice hand cut sirloins. Maybe throw in some prawns. Grill out, drink beer.
What's this fascination with using prawns on barbecues, man? I'm fucking bleh.
Shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah, I mean, Australians, fair enough, but did the Yanks do it as well?
Yes. We
Oh,
call it surf and turf.
Surf and turf.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fez, obviously, you don't get electricity in igloos, do you? So what are you going to be doing?
I'm actually, I'm going to try and get back to Newcastle to spend it and watch it with my dad and my brother.
Where in Scotland are you, by the way?
About 20 miles northeast of Dundee. So not that far into Scotland, but still, it's a trek.
Well, if you live close to Dundee, mate, I feel for you. I've been to Dundee a few times with ice hockey, and I can't exactly say it's my favourite ever city to go and.
It's not too bad, to be honest. When I first got here, I think I've lived here for like 7 years. The people reminded us of people back home in Newcastle, but in the city looks pretty similar in terms of architecture and stuff. So,
what made you disappear to Scotland in the first place?
Work initially, it was work.
Ah, right. Yeah.
But then my partner, I've been with my partner for 6 years, so I want to move back to Newcastle at some point, but she's got like commitments here that keep her up here. So
bollocks, put your foot down, get moved.
But yeah, no, you have to spend it and watch it with the family. My dad and my brother. No one who's alive in my family have actually seen us lift anything. So apart from
I've seen us lift championship trophies, and I've seen us win that. Was it the Intertoto, Billy, back in the day, or was it the Anglo-Italian? I can't remember if it was. Which one was it?
It was like a certificate, wasn't it, with a hole in it?
Yeah.
I'll change what I said. No one in my family seen us lift anything of worth yet.
Yeah. Annie, looking from the outside in, how do you see the cup final going? Be careful.
Keeping in mind there's like 9 Geordies.
If I say what I really think, I am going to get absolutely slaughtered.
You don't think my dad's going to win?
Look,
Annie, you know I would never slaughter you for your comments.
Right, it's a cup final. It's going to be tense. It's going to be nervy. United have good. Sorry. Man United.
You know what he's going to say, Paul. You know what he's going to say.
Good midfielders. That in terms of midfield battle, that'll be incredibly important between the two teams. I do think Man United will score. I do think you'll score. I just don't think you'll win.
Why? Why though?
Because they have Marcus Rashford, and that itself is an absolute game changer.
We've got.
Hang on a minute. We've got Isak, Wilson, Anthony Gordon, Miggy Almiron.
Right.
Well, no, Gordon can't play, but we still got him in the squad. We've got Maxi.
If Casemiro's card gets extended, they're missing Casemiro, and they're missing Ericsson in the middle. I think.
Casemiro might get an extra game, but might be out, because he might get an extended stretch.
Apparently, Man United or Man U aren't gonna insist with arguing that.
Yeah, interesting. But Annie, you can take your Casemiro, you can take your Marcus Rashford, you can stick them where the sun don't shine. Were you going to win the cup?
No.
If it goes to penalties, we'll win it. That's for certain.
Well, I've got no doubt.
Yeah, if it goes to penalties, you'll win because Trippier, Wilson, Isak, all that is.
I was thinking more.
Well, no, just Pope. Just Pope.
Yeah,
because De Gea is horrible.
Nick Pope just looks at the penalty spot and saves it, Annie. So it's a big thing, right? Finally, let's turn our attention to Bournemouth at the weekend, guys, because obviously, we need to kind of come out of this little bit of a rut that we're in. I mean, I know it seems stupid saying that, considering that we haven't lost in the league since Liverpool, but we are in a little bit of a splutter. Where do you see the game going, Jack? Do you see many changes?
Based on our recent performances with Bournemouth, I'm not particularly overconfident that we're going to smash them 5-0 because we drew 1-1 with them in September, and then there was a nervy 1-0 in the Carabao Cup. So it's one of just like a Crystal Palace, it's like a bogey team for us. We can never seem to smash Bournemouth. But this time I've got confidence. I mean, there's a few news on Gordon about him possibly having a jail sentence of 6 months due to this.
Forget that. That's not. That's bollocks. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
I've not heard a lot of reliable sources talking about that, so we're going to move on from that.
I'll forget about that.
But I'm feeling a bit more confident now. I'm not sure why. I think Harrison Ashby will be on the bench this time. Gordon, no doubt, for me, will start. He needs to. And I think we definitely need a bounce back from last week. And I think, yes, the Carabao Cup final was in a few players' minds, but I think they'll put that to one side at the minute, focus on the Premier League. And I think we will go out there fast again, and hopefully we'll score. But it's a hard game to predict because on the last performances, it's kind of hard. But I do feel like we'll win, but I'm not sure we're going to smash them.
Fair enough. Tony, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon we're going to make a change. ASM out, Gordon in. Gordon looked good when he came on for his little cameo. I thought ASM was pretty disappointing. He had a couple of goals, but nothing really major. He looked out of sorts, to be fair. The question is with ASM, and this is a question I've asked people during the week, and do you think that ASM under a team with Steve Bruce, when we had a poorer team, looked a standout player because he was the best player in that poor team? But now he's in a more better team under Eddie Howe. Does he look a bit more ordinary?
I think it basically, with the Steve Bruce managing him situation, I think that Steve Bruce's tactics were so poor that Maxi looked a standout player because it literally, all the players were instructed to do was give the ball to Maxi and let him run with it. So he was obviously going to be the standout player because none of the players were told to bring the ball out. It was always just give the ball to Maxi, and that was Steve Bruce's tactics, which is utter bollocks. Does anybody else think that Maxi should be out of the side for Gordon on Saturday?
Yes.
Maybe not for Gordon. Maybe not for Maximin.
Not for. No,
I'd like to give Miggy a rest.
You want to give Miggy a rest?
Miggy.
Right.
Yeah, Miggy, Isak, and Wilson front three for me.
Miggy, Isak, and Wilson.
No. Gordon, Isak, and Wilson. Sorry.
Yeah, Gordon, Isak, and Wilson would be mine. I've said that. I think that's a scary ass. Yeah, it's that would excite me seeing those three up front. Yeah. But there's just something in the back of my mind all the time, Billy, that Eddie Howe's not going to do that. He's just going to say no, thank you, and he's just going to go with what he knows. But this is where he will come under pressure a little bit because he is going to have to make big decisions eventually to drop some of his favourite players.
I think he'll keep Maxi in. I think he'll give him a go to be ready for the final just in case we need him. I think Joe Linton's under threat with his yellow cards hanging over his head. And I think if he's not playing, Maxi has to play. So, I think he's got a big Maxi up this week, and I think he'll have a chance. And against a side that hopefully won't be go 11 behind the ball, I think he might thrive, and I think we might see the best of Maxi this week.
Ian, what do you reckon?
Do you think he'll drop Joe Linton?
He might be suspended.
Or before then?
No, not before. No, I'm still playing. But if he gets 2 yellow cards,
I think if you're going to drop your Linton
you've got to play Maxi then,
and let him play the Liverpool game.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
I don't think he'll drop Joe at all. I think he'll keep Joe in.
I think he will. I think he'll keep him in. But if he gets booked twice, and it's possible, let's be honest.
I think it's a big risk. I think it is a big risk keeping him in. Yeah.
If he gets booked in the next game, he won't play the game after. I'm very sure of that.
Yeah. So if he gets
that against Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
He needs 2 yellows.
He needs 2 yellows. So if he gets so if you leave him out at Bournemouth, then unless he gets sent off, he won't miss the final.
Well, this is it. If he gets a yellow against Bournemouth, he may as well just get another yellow and get sent off and get 1 match ban. Money.
That's a good point. But who would you rather Joe Linton plays against, Bournemouth or Liverpool? It'd be Liverpool every time. But we need Joe for Liverpool.
Seeing as we haven't got Bruno as well.
Yeah, that's where the difficulty will come by. Barbara, I know you're just still waiting, but we're ending the show shortly, so we'll get you on next week, chick. You'll be first on. Can't get everybody on. That's just the problem lately when we're picking up and everybody's getting on. But we'll get Barbara on next week, definitely. Give me some wine, says 2 50 million pound players, and he won't play them. I don't think it's a case of not wanting to play them. He just look, if you're Eddie Howe, you've got to have some faith in these players that have got you to where we are now, and you can understand that. I just think he's got to show the bravery, Jimmy, to drop some players now, surely.
Well, we're seeing the evolution of this team, but we're also seeing the evolution of Eddie Howe, because he's never been in a situation where he's had 2 50 million pound players, and he's never been in a position where he's had to maybe, I guess, deal with. We don't seem to have the egos, but if you're coming in as a 50 million pound player, then sure, you've got to have some ego. And he's loyal to a fault. And I think these next few years, he's gonna have to learn that loyalty's one thing, but I think he will develop a ruthless side to him. The more better players that we get in, you can't be loyal to everybody and achieve success.
Yeah. I mean, look, he needs. I think it's going to come a time where he needs to be cutthroat, and he has to make that decision sooner rather than later, because
he's not got the Graham Potter problem, eh?
But listen, we played Bournemouth in the league at home.
The best managers.
Maxi wasn't playing. Joe Linton played wide left, and all they did was shove Marcus Billing on him and marked him out of the game, to be honest. We mismatched that for that game. The Carabao Cup game, it was looking 0-0 over it until Maxi came on. And Maxi tore him to bits. So I think
I'm a Maximan sympathiser, to be fair.
I think he'll play Saturday, and I think he'll do well.
I think he should play on Saturday as well.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, I just don't know. I guess, we all predict, we all predict different teams at different times, and it never seems to happen. He goes with the same old. But look, I think he does need to make changes. I think, not necessarily because players aren't playing very well. I think it's because they need a rest. Miggy looks tired. Willock looks knackered. He's got this.
Knackered as well.
Dan Burn looks absolutely out of it, to be honest. But the left back position, I just think we need Matty Targett back in there as well as
I think that's why Maxi might not be playing as well because he's not got Targett for the overlap and stuff. So
good point. Yeah.
And
right. Well, let's go for your predictions.
One sec. Even if Dan Burn does overlap, defenders ain't bothered about what Dan Burn can do with the ball in the corner of the pitch, because he's not likely to get across it. They just don't go mark him. They just don't go mark him, and it's supposed to stick on Maxi.
You see, Targett is back in training, but we don't know how long he's got. That's the thing.
Well, I think he's been in training for about 2 weeks now, so I think he'd probably be ready. But I think he'd be off the bench. Barbara, I know you. Francisco didn't hop off for you. He had an internet problem, but I couldn't get you on anyway. We still had 10 on. So unfortunately, I can't get more than 10 on. I do apologize to the people I can't get on. It's the way it is. I've said we'll get you on next week, Barbara, and that's what we'll do. But unfortunately, I can only get a certain amount on at a certain time. Anyway, let's do predictions. Right, we'll start with we're going to start with Dan. We'll start with you. Prediction for the Bournemouth game.
I think we'll get back to winning ways. I think it'll be 2 or 3-0. I think Max is dropped. I think Gordon starts. I'd like to see Isak back up top, but I think he's going to stick with Wilson.
Right.
I think rest at team will be similar. I do feel, though, as well, on the whole Maxi situation, Now we've got Gordon. If Gordon hits the ground running, he starts left when Bruno's back. It gives the opportunity to give the likes of Willock or Longstaff a rest, basically, and sort of rotate them too. But yeah, I think we'll be back to winning ways on against Bournemouth. I think we'll see a couple of goals, hopefully.
Yeah. Who's going to score?
I'd like to see Gordon grab one. For about 6 or 7 games now, I've been with a few of my friends. I've been predicting a Botman bullet header, and it still hasn't happened. So I'm still holding out for that.
Yeah, Alex has done the same, and it's never happened. But hopefully it might. Listen, Dan, thanks for coming on, buddy, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
Good night, mate.
Yeah.
Apparently,
penalty, by the way.
They've missed the penalty. What's the score?
They won each.
1-1. 1-1.
Just under the penalty. They scored a penalty in the first game.
Man.
But
God
good
damn
save
it,
from the
Wrexham. God damn it. Right, Annie, come on then. Give us your predictions for the Bournemouth game.
Bournemouth stink at the minute. They are hopeless, and you should thump them, really. They've got some good attacking players who impressed against Brighton in their last game. But really, you should be comfortably beating them. I'm going to go 3-0.
Wow. Annie's just predicted a 3-0 Newcastle win.
Wow. Come on, Annie.
Who's going to score our goals, Annie?
It's only because Bournemouth absolutely... Callum Wilson, Dan Burn, and...
Dan Burn? Okay.
Wow. Who else, Annie?
Kieran Trippier, let's go with.
Wow, 2 of the back 4 scored. Wow, that'd be good. Right, thanks for coming on, Annie. We'll see you next time, buddy.
See you, little man.
Take care.
Yeah.
Right, Ian, come on then.
2-0. I wouldn't mind seeing Isak start with Wilson. I think he might play. What I want and what I think might happen might be 2 different things. I tend to agree with people saying that ASM might get another game.
Yeah.
But I would probably, after seeing the last game, prefer to see Isak start on the left, and maybe Gordon on the right, or vice versa, and just go all out for the wins. Get as many creative players up top as we can. Because I feel like Miggy's legs. He's played so much football and he runs his legs off. So I think especially with Bruno missing, we need more creative players on. So that's what I would like to see. But I doubt he'll do that. He'll probably stick with a very similar team, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think the score's going to be?
2-0.
Scorers?
Isak either off the bench or not off the bench, and I think Wilson will get one again because Wilson tends to go on runs once he scores, doesn't he? So
yeah, he does. Coolio, right? Thanks for coming on, Ian. I'll speak to you shortly, buddy.
Cheers, lads. Take it easy.
Good night. Right, Fez, come on then.
I'm going to be overly optimistic, I think, and go for 4-0. Someone's due a battering.
Wow.
Someone's due a battering.
Wow.
And we haven't scored many goals in the last 5 or 6 games. It's due to come.
There is a few people said we're due to batter somebody. So go on, who's going to get the 4 goals?
I think Miggy needs one if he plays. I think Miggy needs one to get his confidence back because he's not looked the same player. He's still making decent runs and stuff, but he's not taking them shots. He's not getting into the box and taking shots. It's like he's lost his confidence. So I think he needs one. So Miggy, I'll take Miggy to get one. Wilson, Isak if he plays, and you know what? I'm going to say Maxi will get one if he plays.
Listen, it would be nice to see Maxi get one, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, thanks for coming on, matey. You go and see to your igloo and make sure it's not melting.
Cheers. See you later.
Take care, buddy. Speak soon.
Fez.
Take care.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know, by the way, Fez does our graphic designing and does an absolutely amazing job with it. So
no shirts
thank
in the
you.
back there. Can you see him? Bruno in the middle, Botman at the back, and Isak in the top.
Yeah, Fez put them all together. Absolute quality bloke as well, and a real big asset to the channel. And we've got Stephen Missy with the $19.99 super sticker. Thank you very much, guys. And the £5 from Dan Brown, who's just been on, of course, making his first time appearance on the fan forum. You did well, Dan. Well done. It's his first time on the fan forum. Thanks for having me, guys. How are the lads? No problem at all. Right, come on then, Tony.
I'm gonna say 2-0 because Bournemouth can be a bit tough to break down, especially if that Neto's playing in goal. He had a great game against us at St James's, didn't he?
He was outstanding.
He was. Yeah, it was only the penalty that beat him. But I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to say Cher will get a goal. He's going to score one of his thunderbolts like he did against Forest. Back Cher to get one, and I think Wilson will score down there as well. It was nice to see Wilson get a goal last week because he's been well off the pace for weeks since the World Cup.
He has,
And I think Eddie will stick with Wilson in attack on Saturday. Isak will probably come off the bench, I reckon, and he might even surprise everybody, Eddie Howe, and have an unchanged lineup and not even drop ASM and maybe just keep Gordon on the bench. Who knows? But you can't tell with Eddie Howe what the team's going to be. You can have so many guesses on the team, and it'll still be wrong. So we wait and see what the team news is, but. As long as we go out there and get the 3 points, that's the main thing, getting the 3 points and getting a nice win on the back of it as well, ahead of the Liverpool game the following week.
Exactly.
When hopefully we expel the end of Jurgen Klopp.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? So what's your score?
2-0, Paul.
And the scorers?
Yeah, Cher and Wilson.
Oh, yes, Sharon Wilson. Yeah, right. Okay. Right, Tony, thank you for coming on. You can find Tony on It's All Black and White TV. He's just started his YouTube channel off, so go and check him out and drop him a subscription. Thanks for coming on, Tone.
See you, mate.
Cheers, Paul. Cheers.
See you soon, buddy. Good night.
Bye.
Jimmy, come on then. Let's have it.
2-0.
And your scorers?
Isak and Longstaff.
Isak and Longstaff, right? Okay. So you're predicting Longstaff to go on a score and run, are you?
Well, he scored 2 against Southampton.
Well, he did. He did. Yes, Jack, I do know. I was there.
I have more faith to him scored than ASL.
Sorry, Jack. I had to get that one in. I was there, mate. Yeah. Honestly. Right. Well, thanks for coming on, Jimmy, and we'll see you on Friday, buddy.
All righty.
Good night. Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Jimmy will, of course, be back with us for TTR Friday. Jack, come on then.
I'm also going to go 2-0. I think we'll struggle to break them down in the early stages, but I think we'll find our groove. We'll get playing football, and we'll start breaking them down. And normally, when Newcastle get one goal, we start to just keep them coming. I think my 2 goal scorers last week, obviously we didn't do a fan forum, I went Gordon and Wilson. I do think Gordon will start, and I do think he will score. And I also think Wilson will score, because I do think when Wilson scores, he tends to go on a bit of a run with goals. And he took it very
against
well.
His old team, of course. So he'll be up for the game, won't he?
And he took it very well last week. It has to be said, very well took goal. They're hard, them ones, when you're a striker, because you don't know where to put them because it's middle of the goal. But yeah, I think he'll score this week, and I think we'll struggle to break them down. But I think we'll score 2.
Look at bloody Stato. He's hovering always, isn't he? He's just there. He's like one of these sort of grim reapers that hangs over your shoulder. Paul, shocked by the Longstaff prediction, the disrespect towards our underrated enforcer. Honestly.
2 hours underrated, Alex. 2 hours and underrated, by the way.
Oh. Hey, Billy, you've picked up on a couple of Alex's errors lately. You're getting stuck into the lad. Makes a change. Right, Jack, thanks for coming on. You can catch Jack at his YouTube channel, which is Toon TV on YouTube. So go and check him out and drop him a subscription on there. We'll see you soon, Jack.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care, bud. Good night. Right, come on then, Caviani, let's have it.
I'm hoping Eddie does some changes and rest Miggy before the Liverpool game as well. I'll probably even rest Jolinton. You don't want, and he's going to get a yellow card every game, and he's definitely going to get one against Liverpool. So I wouldn't play him against Bournemouth.
Yeah. Sorry, I've just seen Kevin Olsen says Fez stick the heating on, and Fez's reaction to that: "Fuck off, Dad." Oh dear. Go on, Roy.
Yeah, so my lineup would be Gordon on the left, Isaac up front, and Maxi on the right. So I'll rest Wilson and Miggy for that game, definitely. Because they can come in the second half if we need them. 1-0 tight, and hopefully it's Maxi. 1-0 Maxi. I'm always wrong anyway. I'm always wrong.
Join the club, mate. Join the club. Right. Thank you for coming on, buddy. We'll see you on Friday. See you.
See you Friday. See you, Billy.
Take care, mate.
See you,
Roy, of course, will be joining us for TTR Friday in a few days' time. But obviously, me and Billy won't be giving our predictions because we'll be doing the match preview on Thursday night that we normally do. So if you want to find out what we think, join us on Thursday night. But our predictions, well, I wouldn't say pay much attention to them because sometimes we are way out. But you never know. But there you go. That is the fan forum for another week. It's been a really good show. Thank you to everybody that's dropped in super chats and things like that. And Barbara, we will get you on next week. Without a doubt, you are booked. You are the only one we ever book on because I know you missed out tonight. So we'll put you on first next week. Don't you worry about that. You will be.
What we should do one week is have a females only fans forum.
A female only fan forum?
Yeah, just have a girls talk night with them.
I'm not even going to talk about the dancing that Roy Caviani is doing in the green room right now. That is very.
I thought it'd be okay for that suggestion, Roy.
Yeah. Well, listen, would the ladies be up for that? Getting a ladies fan forum? That would be interesting to get the ladies side of things. It actually would be probably quite interesting. Yeah, just to and Rachel would come on. Julie J. Barbara. There's plenty there, so we might do that. We'll have a look at doing that one day, definitely. But there you go, guys. Thanks to Rachel and Susan for Modern Backstage. Absolutely brilliant again, the two of you. Thank you so much, and thank you to Billy, and thank you to obviously the forum guys who came on. And Simon's asking who would be the host for the ladies fan forum.
Well, the way right, photo, surely.
Yeah, Billy, don't remind me of that photo, mate. It does put a very, very cold shiver down my spine. But never mind. I mean, I would normally say maybe Roy to do it, but not a chance. Spacebar says Susan could host the ladies fan forum. There you go. That would be interesting. Wes says stick a wig on Billy. No, we're not going there again. I've seen it. Trust me, I don't want to see it again. Bath says we should dress up. Not a chance. Billy's done that, and it will never happen. But thank you very much, guys. It has been an absolute pleasure. Great show again. Keep an eye on the channel for the rest of the week. Just keep an eye on social media and your notifications. Please don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, like what you see, please do hit the subscribe button. We are still gaining subscribers on a daily basis, which is wonderful news. So thank you, everybody, for that. And keep an eye out tomorrow for more recorded videos, daily news. If there's anything to bring you, you'll hear it here first on the Toon Review. But enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and we'll see you soon. And it's good night from me and good night from him.
How are the lads and lasses?
I was waiting for that.